Hello everyone, welcome back to a brand new episode of the ABS show coming straight to you from where?
New York City!
Yes, and if this is your very first time watching us, please subscribe to our channel, like and share, and after the show, go on Instagram and follow us at the ABS show. Glitz, what can they do, to join us in the conversation?
They need to share, comment, and tag a friend. If I'm going to be looking at the comments this week, tag a friend. If you're not tagging a friend, I'm not going to talk to you.
Yes, support black businesses and comment below, right?
Yes, comment.
Below. So what are we talking about today? I'm really interested.
You're itching?
One Africa, baby.
Okay.
Ooh. History.
Charlie, still itch.
Okay. Okay, what's going on? Yeah,
History has it that at one point in his lifetime, Gadaffi was trying to make Africa one Africa using one currency, the gold dinar. Now, my question for today is, do we think this is a future we should strive towards? What are the advantages and why is the West so against this movement?
Obviously, they were against it because it stops. Let me just backtrack. So the Rothschilds own all the banks of the world. They are the juggernauts, the Rothschilds.
Oh, okay.
They were not owning any banks in Libya. So, you know what they did? It's like, this one, he wants to have one currency for Africa. Because they know if Africa gets together and gets connected and we have our own currency and we have to keep switching and working on the dollar, or the stock. If we're on the stock exchange, can you imagine the kind of money that would be coming into Africa? So they're so against that because it shows the togetherness and then they're going to give us power. Power is money. Now, Rothschilds have banks in Libya. So Gaddafi was taken out. Point blank. And I'm sorry to say, I love Barack Obama, but Barack Obama was part of it too. Let's be real, chill. I don't want to say
Allegedly.
that. Allegedly, he was part of it too because he's the
things
one.
you say.
They took him out, right? Wasn't it America that took him out?
Yes,
and it was under Obama's reign. But the thing about it is that we don't understand. This is that mentality that we don't understand that us working together as a Kenyan, we have to work together to make sure that we have our own. If we don't have our own, we're going to keep on borrowing and taking and taking. They know our power. That's why they stop us every time we make a move. They like Kwame Nkrumah. They stopped him because he was making changes. Okay? This is what they do.
Kwame Nkrumah died of cancer.
No, but they stopped him from being in his office. It was it was the Bushes. The Bushes.
Well, I mean, it's yes and no. I agree that we should have the same currency in Africa, and also no. So let me start with the why I'm saying I'm saying yes. Well, South Africa run its currency in several African countries, and most African countries these days also we take the dollars, right? We take the dollars by making a large zone as Africa use like one currency. It's going to help build the economy. I feel like it's going to create stability because then there's no competition because we are all using one currency. It's going to also help trading flow a little much easier. So I think.
Are you sure about that? Because I feel like the continent is too big. And if the continent uses one currency, with regards to natural resources and their what, some nations that have rich natural resources will lose money for the what of the natural resources. For example, you guys have bauxite, there's gold in South Africa, there's so many resources in Uganda and Nigeria. If based on global standard, for example, 1 metric ton of bauxite is worth, say, $300 externally, and in that bauxite is only found in Ghana, then if the whole continent of Africa, based on one currency, decides that that 1 metric ton of bauxite is supposed to worth $200, Ghanaians will be losing in their economy.
How is it losing if the trade is all one?
Because the resource is located, the resources are located in that region.
Yeah, but then it's a business transaction. You have to understand.
Still pay the same price. The prices are going to be the same.
Yeah, but you see, if everyone has the mentality of one Africa, like you said, whatever belongs to Ghana belongs to Nigeria. Whatever belongs to Nigeria belongs to South Africa. It's one continent. That's what he was driving towards. And also, why I also like the idea as well is that even in strengthening the economy as well, it would also encourage production. You know, we would not depend too much on the West in receiving, importing various things that we need. It will strengthen production. It will strengthen our agriculture as well too. And then you find a scenario where the international people will be buying more from us because Africa as a continent is so rich in all in resources and various things. So it's going to be the reverse experience. Now they're coming, to take and explore and take. But now where we develop and have one currency and everything, we're bringing them in and selling to them, and the continent is being elevated.
I'm sorry to cut you, but do you think that to an extent is dependable on the universal currency, universal status of Africa?
It is because it is because we can start from there, right? We can start from there. By the time we have one currency and everybody is on the same page, then other ideas will start, beginning to, come on the table for us to explore as one country, as one continent.
That's the scary part because it's so big. Yeah. When inflation hits, it's gonna really
deflation,
hit.
Exactly.
Now, it's just one country is not gonna suffer from it. Like the whole entire country is gonna suffer from it. But then again, you have to also look at it this way: if it gets better, then it gets better for all the countries. So yeah,
I mean, look at the United States. Every state is independent of their pocket. Like every state literally has their own budget. They're not depending. Every state is responsible. So if we have that going on in Africa, a lot of things will be better. Yeah. A lot of things will be better. People are going to take responsibility. People are going to be more conscious of what they're doing in their environment, and there's going to be so much growth. Well, in the world today, anything that has advantage has disadvantage. Yeah.
But the thing about it, don't you think that it also helps us monitor like those politicians that are stealing? Because now we have one currency, so you're accountable for it. Now if you have dollar, yen, you have French franc, and all of that. There's so many different incomes that are happening, you can't even monitor it. I mean, you got to think about that. So this can make us monitor what's going on with the money. So if one coffer is seeming a little fuller and a little emptier, we know what's up.
So then who's gonna be the head
regulator?
Regulator of this, the central bank? Who is it? Is it gonna be Nigerian looking after?
No.
Well, it was going to be Libya. It was going to be Libya, which was.
I thought Abuja to be
the Abuja Treaty.
Yes.
You're talking based on the Abuja Treaty of 1991.
Yes.
No, I'm saying it was going to be Libya because it was Gadaffi that was pushing for it, and he was the one that was initiating the idea of the gold dinner. Plus, they had over 150 tons of gold that they were sitting on just there at their own disposal. So now who get money nine bioga. So he pretty much is going to stand as the number one African leader, the African leader of all.
Leader, they're not going to go for that.
Yeah, but judging by all that has been said, so it's safe to say that because we, as a continent, we have all these natural resources, which makes us like the richest continent in the world.
Right.
We are also the poorest, poorest continent, because we keep getting harvested by the Western world, which is why, to answer the question, why does the West not want it? The moment we gain that independence, which is what it will bring about, we've broken free from their control. They have no control over how we run our affairs, how we manage our finances, we now have a pure say as to how our resources are used, how it's tapped, how it's exported, and how we want, the money we want for it. So I think the idea is a good one. Unfortunately, it's not realistic. Because, like I mentioned, the West is there, China is on one side waiting to take a grab at it.
That's what I was about to say, because it does threaten the dollar too if we all come together. It does, and they don't want that. But Russia and China are doing great. So,
but do you know what China did though?
What did China do?
China and Japan, they took a dive on their currency worth. That is how they've been staying afloat this whole time.
Wow.
They take a dive. They portray the yen and the yuan as not that much in value, so that compared to the dollar, they're able to trade. That's what they've been doing, and that's how they've been. Now they're all over the place. They're dominant in a lot of countries. They're trading well with a lot of countries. Do you want to put your money into the yen? But they would gladly, their stocks are going up, their market value is going up, and you're just slipping on it.
So can we just talk a little bit about the Abuja Treaty that you just brought up? Because it was decided to set up an economic community. And up to now, most countries have decided not to sign it.
ECOWAS.
No.
The whole of Africa.
Yeah, the whole of Africa, so they can, help with the economic community. I feel like they don't want to sign it because of greedy.
Yes. Of course.
Why should I sign and be part of this mess when I could just take a little, control what I have now
and buy my houses.
So yes, they don't want to get into it because of greed as well.
Exactly.
Our leaders are greedy. And that's why we are not moving forward.
We're not together as a people. We're not together as a continent. We're not together as a nation. It's a problem. It's and as long as that is existing, it will never happen. That's not realistic.
And you did mention that Africa is huge, 54 countries. Yeah. Right now, we can't even control the one that we like. Everybody, the states, even in Nigeria. Yeah. Abuja is a mess. Lagos, don't talk about it.
Because a universal currency, currency for the continent of Africa is also not. It's not just to have the same currency and let it regulate around the whole continent.